Somebody pulls out a gun. Wild. Fires it.
Puts it right in my face.
But yes. Yeah. We're like, let's get out of here. Cops are coming. We hop in the Camaro. 4 people in the Camaro. We start driving, bro. My car runs out of gas.
BruKnows, what you trying to find out? 3, 2, 1, BruKnows starts now.
Well, welcome. Oh, that's a bad way to start.
Cheers.
And we're live. Dun, dun, dun. I'm working on my DJ skills so you can turn it up. Hey, welcome to the BruKnows podcast. Turn up. Yo, I'm so excited. So today, guys, I got my best friend in the whole world, Adam Visconti. Adam actually flew out. It's my birthday weekend. Today is Friday, and my birthday is on Sunday. So my guy had to fly out. Thanks for coming out, dude.
Happy birthday. Happy early birthday.
Yes. How's the flight? Everything's good?
Easy.
Life is good?
Good to be here. Miss Colorado a lot.
Yeah, you're dressing like it. I can see it.
A little touch of Montana.
Yeah, bro.
No, it's good to be back. Good to see everybody.
Adam just moved out to Montana. You liking Montana, bro?
Love Montana. Bigger Colorado is what it is. Bigger state.
That's how you feel? Damn.
Oh, spot on.
Box state, bro. Box state to the death of me.
Bro.
I can't agree on some Montana stuff.
I'm going to bring you out. You'll see.
Bro.
Bruno's going to take a trip.
If you take me fishing one time, I swear, this friendship contract is canceled.
I brought up the idea of a trip to Bruno, and first thing he said was, but I'm not going to fish.
Yeah, we're not fishing,
We don't got to
bro.
fish. There's other things to do. Definitely a different lifestyle up there. I think it's like less cowboy feeling than everybody thinks, less Western.
Yeah.
Especially in like Missoula. Dude.
Yeah.
It's more like being in Boulder. You know?
Yeah.
To be honest, like you'll see it when you come down there, but it's a little liberal. I think just a big college town.
Really?
It's kind of like Grand Junction size.
That's a thriving state.
Background. Me and Bruno both went to school in Grand Junction.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm the king of Junktown, bro. Self-proclaimed, but also validated, okay? That shit has a stamp and a seal. No, dude, so one thing I wanted you to tell it because you told it at my wedding. So Adam had this best man speech, but you told it at our wedding, and I feel like I always tell my version of the story, so I want you to tell your version of how our friendship came to be, because it was a funny way, and it's weird to think that we're best friends now because I hated your ass.
Absolutely.
I was like, Adam?
You know? No, absolutely. So from the top, like from the start?
From the jump. And then I'll jump in a couple times.
Okay.
Because you got to get the stats right.
No, I got the stats right. All the numbers are perfect. I don't know, man. I think it was probably freshman, sophomore year. First time I saw your name. Obviously, Colorado.
No, before. The story of where you stole my O-dub, right?
Oh, yeah. That's way
from
back.
The jump.
7th grade. You know, I stole that and I wasn't even.
That was not 7th grade,
I think I was
bro.
going into 8th grade. It was a high school camp, but I'm pretty sure I was a year younger.
So the story I told a couple weeks ago on my podcast of me, doing the tuna prank on my coach, which I almost got in legal trouble for. Basically, your boy started wrestling late, and I'm coming into my own. I'm finally believing I'm going to be a good wrestler. We go to this camp every year. I literally am balling out. I'm beating like state champs. Nobody even scored a point on me. Adam's head coach is the father of the coach.
Jumping way ahead. At the same time, I'm doing the exact same thing, probably a little bit better, obviously.
Yeah. Well,
more style points in the process. Same camp. I think we were like the same weight too. We
just didn't wrestle each other.
I think they
you were
put your
dodging
varsity guy against me.
Yeah, you were dodging me. Anyways, your boy's finally balling out, coming into his own, becoming a really good wrestler. I think I'm like definitely gonna win O-Dub, bro. I'm like nobody's even scored on me. State champs, I'm beating. This dude, all of a sudden they go to like there's 2 O-Dubs or something like that.
No. So okay. Waiting in between sessions. In between sessions, I find a slip of paper. This is so crazy. Find a slip of paper. First time.
I don't think I know this piece.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen your name, like actually, or like come and witness, but it
Because
was
your boy sucked up until that point. That's really why it was, you know.
but it was my name up top and then yours right underneath, and then there was like a tally system.
Yeah.
And so what I figured out is it had to have been
You just throw more tallies on there is what you did, bro.
3 or 4 more real quick. No, but it had to have been like the camp counselors.
Yeah.
I'm sure they put it up to the camp counselors to like vote on, and I think we
Fuck
were
you,
we
Justin
were the
Gaethje.
yeah Gaethje.
Just kidding. He probably voted for you.
Yeah,
I got a
too.
bone to pick with you,
Yeah,
buddy.
too. So backstory is my high school coach and his son kind of ran that team. Ben Sherrington coached
Yeah.
UNC at the time. My brother wrestled at UNC under him. So I did have a little bit of
Yeah.
an insight.
Well, anyways, I'm thinking my name's definitely getting called. This dude wins ODub, so immediately and he used to have Justin Bieber hair, and I'm like, oh,
past that.
fuck this dude is what I said to myself, and I almost got it tatted on me if I was old enough at the time. And then years later, I'm a sophomore in college at Mesa, and then tell your side of it.
Even before that, all right,
Yeah.
jump it back one more time, and then we'll carry on.
Okay.
But even through high school, like we were always pretty close to the same weight. That
Yeah,
was
we
kinda going
always
in,
missed each other.
just barely.
Yeah,
just barely for one reason.
and I was salt, and I was like, let me get this dude.
So
one time.
okay. So jumping before you even tell your sophomore
Yeah.
year story, I had verbal to Western State. Didn't think I wanted to wrestle coming out.
Yeah.
Got beat in the finals pretty bad.
Yeah.
Jason Bird.
Shout out Jason, our
Shout out
teammate
Jason.
too. Shout out Jason, bro. Yeah. Cop.
Decided last minute that that's what
Snitch. Just kidding. I love you, Jason.
Alamosa. So
That's so cool though. That like that. Well, yeah.
I mean, that we
we're
stayed
able
in
to like
touch.
build friendships through wrestling. You know.
Still hate him deep down, but
Yeah.
love the guy.
I
Love the
love
guy.
him.
Love the
You
guy.
can't hate Jason,
No,
bro.
you can't, which sucks.
But anyways, yep.
Okay, so whatever. Verbal to Western State, get done. Hadn't signed any paperwork. We went on a spring break trip to Havasu and Lake Powell, and we were driving through Grand Junction. I see a big wrestling board up, and I talked to Pfeiffer earlier on.
Yeah.
That's the head coach down there, Chuck Pfeiffer, and didn't commit to anything, wasn't about it at the time. And then I looked up the roster as we were just driving through, rocking a Ming hangover. We'd been drinking the night before. I just climbed into the car. We were riding down, and I see BruKnows' name in there at like 65, 57, somewhere in there on the roster. And I was like, if he's on the team, and then it looked like you had been, it looked like you had gotten some starting time. I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump in there and take his spot. That was like, 100%. Like I remember the thought process in my mind was I'm gonna jump in there, and then
fast forward to day one of practice, bro. I'm rolling with Adam. This dude doesn't move, gives me the worst concussion, and I've had like 7 concussions up until this point. This dude, he's coming out of high school, kind of squirrely a little bit. Freaking hits me with like an elbow to the temple, bro. I was out for like 2.5 months. That shit was so bad. I remember how bad the concussion was because I like met somebody that same night, and I like went to shake his hand, but I put my left hand out, and I was just like, damn, I'm concussed. And anyways, once I realized I'm concussed, I'm not gonna be wrestling for a while. We just started hanging out. Honestly, we smoked a little weed together, and then friendship just flourished, bro. And never would I thought that this kid I hated once upon a time becomes my best friend, dude.
I think our first like 3 or 4 months of actually hanging out, you were still concussed. I think you were trying to like medicate. You were still concussed, and we'd smoke a little bowl and then walk over to like Taco Bell or apple empanadas.
Yes, we had like 6 or 7 of those.
Yeah, and then from there, it just kind of, I don't know. It was way out. I feel like personally, me and you have a lot of similar traits.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but
which is weird because we're so different. We grew up so different.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Adam's like, you're more of like country guy, like fishing, like
just because I'm wearing a flannel.
I know. Well,
I do.
But it's like, and I'm just the opposite, bro.
Completely.
And what's funny is like our whole dynamic too. I'm always like loud, and I'll be like the crazy person, and then Adam was always like good cop, bad cop is what we would call it. Yeah. And everybody would think I'm the bad cop when really Adam's the one plotting behind the scenes, dude. I was the nicest guy, bro. I was truly, I look like bad cop, but I was the nicest guy.
You were way nicer than me. Honestly, if you were to look at it like on a scale of bad shit down and good, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was some good times, bro. It was some good times. And I think we've talked about this before. It's just so beautiful to like, I put a lot into wrestling, and I always thought that it was like the accolades and stuff, but the relationships we've been able to develop. And it's also like, a big part of my story, bro. Like, if I were to tell some of these stories of adversity, and like what it took for me to actually get to the All-American stage and to be able to accomplish that shit, like, people would think I'm bluffing, and you were there with me along the way, just like watching it happen. And anytime like somebody would say something to me or like treat me a certain way, and I'd get like when I get emotional, I get like pissed, and I'm like, oh, bro, he's gonna say that to me, bro, and I just remember days like some emotional shit happening, like kind of like the Hoff shit and all that stuff, and me just getting back, and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker or even like, at our team dinner, he's gonna say this shit to me, bro. And I just remember it. Adam's like, yep. You're right, bro. They don't know. And that's how you know you found a real one, bro. The one thing I do want to talk about, bro. So my senior year, Adam came up to me and told me like, hey, this is the last year I'm going to wrestle, right? And I was kind of upset because, when you and I feel like had the same development story, we kind of always had to work to get to where we were at. Mm-hmm. And I knew that you were like turning the corner there. And it was like, oh, now you got the experience to actually like get in there and realize, like you were realizing like, yo, I could beat these fucking kids, And then
we were on a run.
You wanted to actually like, I think you were over it for a while, but you like stuck it out my senior year, Yeah. And bro, you would have. What do you think about your senior year not wrestling? Like,
I don't think. Okay, that's a mixed subject. I know, it depends on the day. It depends on the day you ask me. To be honest, like I always
even my senior year though. Yeah. I feel like you wrestled that year for like, yes, you were obviously in it to win, but it was like, no, I gotta like be part of my guy's year.
And that was but I never wanted to quit. Like I always looked, especially like first 2-3 years of college. Yeah. I always looked at all those guys that quit that were like 4 and 5 years, and I'm like, how? Like, how did you step away from it? Right. For me personally, and like when I look back at decisions that I've made, I feel like I take a lot of time on decisions. I feel like I make them properly. Yeah. So when I look back and try to like, take it back or like regret it, I don't allow myself because I know in the time that there was a reason for it. Yeah. But I still have dreams and stuff where like, I'm going back for my last year of college all the time, probably like once a month.
Yeah, because you were there, bro.
I know. But I'm going to tell you this, dude.
You didn't need the like...
I burnt myself out that year. Like, I put everything in, and I really did, like... I think that year, like, I put it all out there and had been putting it all out there. And I think I was going through a lot of stuff family-wise. Yeah. I think that had a factor.
Well, and it was also, like, even though I was a year older, it just felt like a closing chapter of just, like...
I mean,
it was awesome, dude. Yeah. I think back to trips of us just traveling around, like spending 14 days out, just beating up dudes across the country, bro.
Back in the van and then you're going again.
Bro, I know. So fun.
No,
dude. But okay, so like when you look back on it, you've never been the type of person to like regret decisions. I feel like I feel like life has a way of placing us together.
Yeah.
Yep. And dude, you're just my guy, bro. You're just my guy. I don't even know how to say it. Like, when somebody's always on the same page, always at all times. Yo, it got to a point. Okay, let me. It got to a point in college, bro. In college, right? We kind of started winning. We're like top kids in the country, top team in the country. Your boy's just extra handsome and jacked.
Last year we went on a dual run. I think between me and
I won 26 matches in a row.
Yeah, and but like dueling, me and you didn't lose a match between like 74s and 84s for like 8 or 9 duels straight.
Yeah,
like,
no, it was like almost the whole season.
Yeah, I know.
No, so like...
And I would feed off of it. He's 74s, I'm 84s. I would just feed off of it. Yes. Like this dude would go out, suplex a fool. He's always got big moves.
Flashy guy, bro. I was always flashy.
I'd feed off of it. I remember like one duel specifically, just at home, Babs, and like went out there. I don't know if it was Mines.
Oh, Mines was cool because that kid had never lost a match before. Yeah. And he was coming in 4-time undefeated state champ. And I'm like... Hey, buddy, here's college. This is what college is like, buddy. And it was his first match ever. But, dude, we always had good energy. And it was, I think what's cool about wrestling is especially in practice and stuff, you see people's like breaking points. So I feel like you know people so well, you know, you get to know somebody like so deeply.
See, limits are like everything. I don't know. You learn a lot about it.
Your boy's been broken a couple times, bro, but that's what makes me so tough nowadays.
We were put in a room that there was no choice. You
Yeah,
know what
bro.
I'm saying? Like they were gonna find it.
Yeah.
And you got tested. I think that's jumping back to like you talking about. I saw the whole process of what
Yeah.
you've gone through. I saw you get tested more in that 4 to 5 years with like
Bro.
doubt. You know what I'm saying? People doubting
Yeah.
you, but then like
Even when your boy's
I've watched
winning,
you-
bro.
I know.
Remember I like
watched you
beat
some of the-
Hoff, bro?
No.
And then
That-
I go out and I'm like pinning fucking ranked
some
kids.
of the like teching some of the
Yeah.
best dudes in the nation
Yeah.
and getting like screamed at after the duel because he gassed out. I'm like, he scored 15 points in like a minute and a half.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, yo,
But-
can y'all help my style?
Yeah.
But that's what's beautiful, and I think even with wrestling, it's like it trains you for life, you know.
100%.
And one of the things too, recently, like obviously I did that boxing match, right?
Yeah.
And I have these things I want to check off. I know you were training a little bit.
Yeah.
I need to do a fight, bro. Just one.
Like
For-
MMA, full
Yeah,
MMA.
of course,
Oh,
bro.
dude, we both do.
I'm a piece of somebody, you know.
I feel like I was born to scrap more than wrestling.
Yeah.
Like wrestling,
Scrap is
great.
Fighting is
I
one
know.
thing. Scrapping, I'm a back alley type of like
100%.
crack a bottle on your head ass dude, bro.
There's nobody else I'd get stuck in like an
Yeah.
alley fight with.
Bro.
I mean, but like I have that in me that I feel like me and it. See, I don't want to be stuck like conditioning.
Yeah.
wise, you know what I'm saying. But give me 30 minutes in any alley with anybody. I feel like
Especially like, yo, give me a shot of whiskey, bro.
Yeah, couple.
You get somebody stepping on my brand new shoes. And my biggest thing is when I'm being nice to somebody and somebody's being a dick back to me. And because your boy walks around like pretty boy, like, you know what I'm saying, bro? And people forget I'm tough.
Yeah.
People forget we know how to scrap, bro. People forget this is what we do. But just talking to Archie and wrestling with some of these dudes, it's like I want to do that. I want to like make the Olympic team, you know. But just because it's like that's within reach, you know, it's not unrealistic. And what, like, again, going back to what we were just talking about of like, bro, you saw it. So when I like speak on like, I'm not the type of dude that just came in like talented as fuck. He's gonna All-American. Like, bro, the amount of haters, naysayers, coaches, I was beating kids outright for spots and getting them pulled from me, like, for no reason, you know? And to also have you see, like, my attitude about it, too, and I, like, look back, and that's where I feel like I was a little wise, where it was, like, when Pfeiffer took my spot after I beat out Jesse, who's ranked second, and the whole country thinks Jesse's just hurt when really your boy's beating him in the room.
nonstop.
And, yeah, every day. And Jesse's like, oh, no disrespect to Jesse. Anyways, but when that happened, I beat the dude out. Comes time for regionals. I've been wrestling all year as a starter. They're like, we're taking Jesse. And I could have been like, the politics, this shit. But your boys are like, oh, they don't know, bro. I got to be undeniable. Yeah. And I came back that next year, bro, and I qualified. But even then, it took that next chapter of like, let me wrestle in this tournament, see what it's like.
And I think like seeing you pull through, and I've told you this
a
couple times, but like seeing it go through that whole process from start to finish, like all the ups and the downs, and like seeing the end, like I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? There was not a jealous bone in my body, which you would think, but like I was so just.
No, it's so genuine, bro.
Yeah, but it was like, it was huge to see.
Yeah.
Huge to watch.
Yeah. And your boy, like, not almost, because Kistler kind of fucked me up in the semis, but I thought I was about to make a run real quick. And then your boy settled, you know?
Yeah. No, you did.
You know how it goes. The ball lies how it lies. I was just happy to be there, honestly.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Kind of something that I've been thinking about is like, everybody talks about the correlation or the transition from like college athletics, like everything we've just been talking about, work ethic, into like what you're doing now and like how that step, you know, process goes forward. And I guess like what things do you see that correlate? Because like, I feel like the biggest thing, like with a wrestling season or a wrestling match or a tournament, like there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of testosterone going in.
Yeah.
Right. But like now in life with a career and things, like you're trying to maintain that for years at a time, right? You're trying to do it
It's
for like
tough.
the next 20 years. I'm trying to be that
Yeah.
motivated and wake up the same way. Like
Yeah.
when a season used to wear me out. So
It's
like that's
tough, dude. Because it's the change of like competing against someone else to competing with yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to set your own metrics. Like nobody's going to be over here handing you a trophy for doing nothing, you know? Like you could accomplish big dreams. Nobody's handing you a trophy, you know? So you got to kind of create those trophies like in your mind, really, you know, and you got to set like certain goals. But honestly, like I think I would have been either person to where if I did an All-American, it would have been a chip. And because I did, it was like cool, chapter closed, I thought. But now like I have this opportunity to wrestle on the Brazil Olympic team if I go down and win this tournament. So that's also really cool to just be able to like apply it one more time. But really what wrestling taught me, bro, regardless of what I accomplished, was number one, people aren't always going to be on the same page, you know. Not everybody wants you to win. But number two, it's like focus and intentional time spent in one direction will yield nothing but what it yields, you know. So time in the gym will just get you better, more, you know, athletic, whatever the fuck it is. And time reading will get you more knowledge, and time with your wife will get you more love. And it's just about finding the balance of what you need to like, because at the same time, I love the underdog mentality. Like I always, not that I feel like people are putting me down, but I always like to feel like my back's against the wall, because then I got to like fight or flight, and I always fight.
See, that's something
you know?
that I've been like honing in on a little bit. And I think that's like, I had a friend refer me to a book, and it was all, I don't remember the exact
Alchemist,
title.
Bruno.
No, it's not. That's a good one. That's a good one. But no, this one is
your boy got it tatted. If you haven't read it 10 times, and you're not my friend.
9.
No, all right. Give one more and we'll talk.
This one, it's all about like being uncomfortable, right? And
Yeah.
like how like from our roots as humans, like being uncomfortable is what pushes us to be better.
Exactly.
And,
There's
like, feel
there's
better.
no growth in comfort.
No,
You know.
100%. But it's like big trials and tribulations and tests.
Yeah.
So like I even think like you with the, you know, going in trying out for the
Yeah.
national team and like think that's like a big test, right?
Yeah.
And like for me personally, I think that's something that keeps me running like past that college mentality of like,
Right.
you know, oh, I'm a wrestler now. It's
a
like, no, I'm
play, it's
trying to,
other shit.
yeah. And like being able to push yourself. To
But
that
it's
point,
also
you know?
about tasting, though, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I figured out is, you know, your boy figured out how to make money. I can make money. But the money doesn't matter. Like, what I want is I was put here for a purpose. I want to maximize that purpose. And maybe I'm still lost, you know? I think we all are trying to figure out what our lane is. But it allows you to try, you know? It allows me to say, hey, I want to build a podcast studio and fucking build that shit to the highest quality, because I'm the kind of person that's excited about, like, if I'm going to do it, I'm all in, bro. That's the problem. I'm like 100% if I say, and that's a lot of the reasons why I put my goals out there, because I'm almost too embarrassed to be the person that's like, oh, I said I would do this, but I didn't accomplish it. The moment I tell Adam one thing, it's like, fuck. Like, I'll always remember when it comes push or shove, I'm like, how am I going to face Adam? How am I going to face my wife? And it could be like, how am I going to face the waitress at the restaurant that brought me the water late? And I said this, like, I always think about, I like try to check my ego, you know, and as long as I keep saying what I'm going to do and keep accomplishing it, it fuels the ego, but you got to check it too, you know, like and that's one thing, like, bro, not to say that I'm always right. I know I always say that. I'm not always right, bro. But I'm right about a lot of shit. And I call it like I see it, bro. And you're the biggest proof of that, because you've seen me call shit. And it'll even be some weird shit. Like, we'll walk in somewhere, and I feel like Psych. I don't know if you've seen that show, but I'll, like, spot something. I'm like, Adam, the chair is slipping out. Watch. This girl's going to trip as she turns around, and then she just eats shit, bro. And I'm like, yo, your boy has superpowers.
Not even just that, though. Some of it takes a long time to like happen. Like, you'll say something, and then it's like a year.
Watch.
No, yeah, like 6 months to a year later, I'm like, what the?
Yeah, bro. Because I'm just planting seeds, and I want to get better at, like, just being in that creative space. But, like, that's, as humans, we're made to create, you know? And that's one thing that I've always told you, like, bro, you're such a ride or die, such a good friend. Even before you came to work for Hummingbird, it's like, bro, let's make sure that this is, because I don't want to pull you away from your destiny? Because you're the kind of guy, bro, like, we kill someone, Adam's burying him. All right? If I've ever killed someone, Adam buried him. I don't even know where it is. Adam buried him. All right? But that's like one thing too. I never wanted our friendship to get in the way of stuff, you know?
No, 100%.
But at some point, like even the like Olympic thing, right? Like I'm happy with my wrestling career, but it's like, oh, I could take something that I now know to another level just cause, like, why not? You know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think working with you, I mean, has been huge. Just seeing like that whole work ethic take another step, you know what I'm saying, into like a career and whatnot. And like I've always...
It's weird because does it not feel the same? It kind of like
100%. Our conversations are the same though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like we've always discussed things. Like nothing ever changes.
Well, not just me and you working, but I feel like our business model. No, like our business model. Yeah. It feels like wrestling. It feels like everything you've ever done. I see what you're like saying. Once you figure it out, you're like, oh, this is natural. Clicks. Like it took you a while to figure out the pitches, but once you did, it's just like, oh. This shit's the same shit as the other shit.
It's all relatable. Yeah. I feel like, but you have to like allow your mind to make that association, right?
Yeah.
Because if you try to fight it, and like, oh, this is a whole new process and try to redo it all, but like, I've already got the tools. I've built the tools from this, you know. So like, how do I apply it?
So basically, it feels like I'm still wrestling 24/7, and I apply everything to. Even we'll be playing Rocket League. I'm thinking like the moment I shoot a shot, it feels like I just hit a duck, and I'm like, why does that feel like? Or when I'm hitting a golf ball, I'm like, just like I feel like I'm hitting a duck, or like something weird. You know
what's funny though? Think about this. This just kind of popped up.
Yeah.
I look at our way of sales, like me and you specifically, and how they like differ a little bit, you know, and like how you approach people and how I approach people. And I think there's pros and cons to both sides. But think about that in relation to like even our wrestling style. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost relatable. I was just
like there, like this is me.
Yeah.
Throw it out there, yeah. But I'm also like, down your throat, bro. They will buy or they will die, bro. That's how I be feeling. But honestly, it's just like confidence in the product too. Yeah. Like, honestly, what we've built with Hummingbird, it's not a bunch of bros just slanging some shit. Like, there's actual data being backed. You know, we have over 10 million data points of people setting meetings, converting clients, you know. So that's what gives me the confidence. Yeah. That's what gives me the confidence to ball out. Like when you know you're Kobe Bryant on the court, like ball out.
No, and you're just more aggressive. I guess my way of doing it is like putting the info out there and almost making them feel stupid, like long term throughout the conversation.
Oh, that's how I do it too.
No, you're more direct.
I'm like, but get out.
No. But like, okay, how many calls have I been in with like one or two guys that like I'm like, hey, they're on the verge, but I like bring you in,
and I call them. And
but this is what's funny is relating back to what you said earlier, like the good cop, bad cop. That's almost how I feel.
It is
in that situation. I'm like having this nice conversation. I'm like, let me dial Bruno in real quick, and then it's like,
just like, buddy, it makes sense, bro. Give me your money. It's like, oh, you're right.
Oh, you're just like, oh, you can't close.
But it's not like, it's not that like we're selling. Honestly, you and I have always done a good job at relating with people, whether it's in sales or not, like because we're never expecting anything out of anyone. We're never judging people, you know. Okay, so I did the boxing match. It's got me into some MMA, and I got a couple things to talk about. I mean, number one, UFC in general. You know, your boy's trying to do an MMA fight.
Yep.
I don't want to. Here's the thing, bro, is that I feel like if I really wanted to pursue that, I could. I really could. Just like a lot of us, I think, can with some wrestling backgrounds. But it's like the process of sharpening a tool is a 10,000 hour process. It's a process of mastery, and you got to weigh things out in your life, right? If you want to master something, you really got to take it in. And when it comes to like the life of an athlete, you know, you could spend the next 15 years, I've already spent 8 or 9 years sharpening wrestling. Now I got to spend another 10, 15 to get to the level of these people, right? Yeah. And sometimes you're like, I'm better used elsewhere. With that being said, though, you saw that Kamaru fight, right? That shit was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, a lot of these people that like we know in our circles are starting to come up. And Kamaru was the D2 national champ. Our coach, Larry Wilbanks, actually beat him twice.
Kearney, Nebraska.
The year that he won nationals, which is wild.
Yeah.
And Adam told me about that. So, do you, like, I know TJ's fighting. Like, a lot of our friends are fighting. Like, I just don't see myself as, Here's the biggest thing why like I don't want to fight, and this isn't in a like a bad way, but it reminds me of like the olden times where you're in Greece and it's like the Colosseum and it's like kill each other to the death. And when I think about this scenario, I'm trying to be the king with the grapes in my mouth and like just kill, just like this, like flip the finger down. I don't necessarily want to be the dude fighting for his life. But with that being said,
well, they're not slaves anymore. But I see what you're saying.
But not that version of it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like those people in prison, they would just put them to like in the Colosseums. They're like finger down.
Oh, I know, but those were like I think they were like
fight a lion,
like the movie Gladiator. They were like slave bought and forced.
I thought you were taking that.
No. I'm saying like, have you seen Gladiator the movie?
Yeah.
They're all bought and like
Gerard Butler.
Is that I don't know. Maybe it could be.
You said yeah.
Good job, Gerard. Good job, Gerard.
You said yeah. Like you
it's gotta be.
Cute,
it's gotta be Gerard.
But yeah, do you see yourself ever like?
So immediately after, I think that I had a bad taste just from what you were saying of like wrestling and whatnot. Yeah. And so for like a year, I was like, I'm going to train, I'm going to fight. And it was like almost something I was proving to myself.
Yeah.
And then I did actually take a fight, a little promotion, right? But this was like pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Got shut down. I was training at the time. I was working in the oil field. You know that. Yeah. Glad I got out of that. But
a roughneck, bro.
While
this
I was finishing
to
up
Vegas
school.
with a inch thick.
God.
All right, anyways, go ahead.
And he still looked better than everybody.
No, bro.
I scrubbed it off.
No, bro.
So... like that time period though, I'd been training pretty hard, was in good shape, but I think that I was more so trying to like prove something to myself. And then I remember one day just like swallowing it, but I promised myself when I swallowed it, and I was like, I don't want to.
Swallowed what?
Just like the pride. I feel like it was a pride.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta like. Well, no, it was like
I just like had this feeling like I wasn't done with my physical aspect.
You had a chip, yeah.
Yeah, but I like remember I was like, hey, I still got a good brain on me. Like I'm gonna pursue some other things and move forward.
Brain.
No, the best. One of the best.
The brain who can't read good.
One of the best. But I remember making a promise to myself at that time that I would take at least one fight. And that's like when you make a promise to yourself, like you've got to. So I am still taking one fight.
Well, and I'd be scared to fight you because you're fighting constantly, just your gay thoughts, you know?
Oh, you're going to catch another atomic elbow just like freshman year.
He's fighting gay thoughts, folks. I'm the crown of shit talking. I am he. I am him. Himmy Neutron of shit talking.
Himmy Neutron, he says.
But really, bro, I'm actually, that's a good skill. I don't know if God-given skill.
Ever seen people more defeated than like
I'm a good shit talker, bro. Don't get on my nerves, bro. Like, I'll break you down.
In the history, we weren't even good at like beer pong and games. I mean, we were, but 50% of it.
Because I would just get in there.
Oh, dude, instantly, and it was like just no concentration. I could look across, and they're so flustered and like fucked up by what we were saying, like. Just nothing.
And it wasn't even anything fucked up, you know. It was just little comments.
Some of it was.
Yeah, it was. Here's one thing I wanted to talk about. Obviously, I did the boxing fight, and lately, you know, like the Paul brothers are bringing attention to boxing. Yep. I honestly think they're both geniuses, both marketing geniuses, but like at the same time, they did knock out Ben Askren, who was one of my coaches for a little bit and a camp counselor of mine, and the reason why I'm a big fan of Jake and Logan is I was like, there's no fucking way, bro. Because Ben Askren was an Olympic level athlete. Yeah. And I was like, there's just no way. It's kind of like Larry. Like, Larry's one of the toughest guys in my mind ever. And he's not like, he's probably not that tough compared to other people, but he's tough.
He's tough. That's like
the only reason I know he's not tough is because he used to talk about his homie, like the black dude, Fournier or something. That was tough.
That fool's tough, though.
Yeah, but Grant Neal beat his ass, and that's my dog, bro.
God.
Grant Neal's 26.
I know, but
you get your
Larry,
ass
dude,
beat
I don't
by
know.
somebody my age, bro. You're not a man.
Larry put his hands on you, though, like just like hand fighting. Yeah, like the goofiest. But just tough as fuck.
Yeah,
I elbowed Larry in the head one time.
Yeah, this dude gave me cauliflower in 6 minutes. He pulls my headgear. I block my ear. He starts choking me with my headgear. I go to fight the choke. He starts punching my ear. This dude gave me cauliflower in 6 minutes, and now I know what you're about to say. But shout out Bruno for both of Adam's cauliflower ears.
No way.
I made them both bad.
You started it, and then Larry finished it.
I created. The other one was through with the needle.
Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about that.
I did create that one. I remember
I've
the day.
I've got something to say about what you just said, but talking about the needle subject, draining my ear. run to the, what was it, in Albertsons or Rite Aid and get some
So
needles.
if you guys don't know, if you get cauliflower, basically it's
nasty.
your cartilage in your skin splitting and then it builds up with blood. And what you have to do, because it's like very sensitive, you have to drain it and suck all the blood and pus out. And so Adam has his cauliflower. It's blown up. We both do that year. Mine was bad too.
Here's the thing: is I had been draining mine, like I was
just wanted to do it
more than capable. And he talks me into like giving him the needle, talks me into it, and I'm like, no, I'm more than capable. I could do it. Talks me into it, and I just feel all this pressure, and then
bro,
boom,
I punched the needle
straight through
his ear
into my fucking ear.
My boy looks like Elf, you know. He looks like what's his name? Will Ferrell.
It's not even that bad.
Yeah, you Will Ferrell. But no, it's but that's the mark, you know. Now we're gonna be friends forever.
You know what? Technically, we both pierced each other.
Yeah. No, and then I'm always wild, right? So one time I'm coming back home from Denver. It's a 4-hour drive. I decide I want to get my nose pierced. So I'm driving. I call Adam. I'm like, hey, I want you to pierce my nose. And he's like, what do you mean? We could just go. No, I'm like, no. I'm going to Walmart. I'm buying a needle. You're piercing my nose.
Yeah, he shows up with fucking crochet needles. Crochet
thick
needles.
as
That's
fuck.
all they have.
And he pushed it through my nose,
Not
bro.
just that, though. We smoked like 2 blunts before that.
Well, bro, it's not for the people.
We didn't
right?
smoke 2 blunts.
Yeah, we did not smoke 2 blunts.
We didn't. But yes, and
Like
I
high school
remember
days, or
laughing.
college,
I was
college.
laughing so hard pushing this thing through, like just giggling. And if anybody's
I
seen
have a
Bruno,
video of
if
it. I
anybody's
can
seen
throw it
Bruno
out.
in pain, like you're a tough dude.
I could throw it out.
No, Bruno's a tough guy. tough guy.
Would be, dude.
But
you see my
you
wife
see him in
pick my
pain.
face, bro.
If you see him in pain, it's like so apparent. Like I've seen this fool getting tattoos. I've seen like piercing.
I don't
and he's
like
like the
pain,
most like lip tap. Bruno was
Yes,
he damn near
bro.
fighting tears the whole
Yeah.
time.
No, but he pierced my nose with a crochet needle. But actually, okay. One story I want to talk about. So our buddy Caden was supposed to be here today. Caden's one of our best friends. But I got to talk about this story, bro, because I've been thinking about it for a while. And this is one of the stories that we forgot were stories, but they're stories. You know what I'm saying? And basically what happens, Adam and I go out one night, and we come back. And our buddy Caden, he's like the little brother, you know? And Caden used to date this girl named Olivia, right? And Olivia went to our school, and he got this new girlfriend named Paige. So me and Adam show up drunk
should've
one
used
night,
fake names.
and we didn't like Paige. No, fuck them, bro. Fuck these bitches, bro.
Hate
Just
them.
kidding, but you know, subscribe.
Put them on blast.
Anyways, no, subscribe. Anyways, bro, fuck these bitches. Anyways, Paige was not nice to me, so I used to not like her as much.
She's a bad human.
Anyways, yeah, not a good person. Other stories can testify to that. But anyways, we get home, and Caden lives with Adam, and we see her car parked outside, and I have this genius idea. I'm like, yo, Adam, we should let the air out of her tire. The back left tire, matter of fact. So I do. I let the air out. Meanwhile, you know, we go to bed, forget about it. The
Completely
next day,
forget about it. I had no idea.
I forgot we did that. But the next day, Paige needs to go to work, and Caden's supposed to drive her, and so they leave. We let the air out of the tire. So the rims start cutting up the tire. And all of a sudden they pull over. Caden spends all day fixing the tire. Not only does he spend all day, but he doesn't call into work, which is where he had to go, and gets fired. So he gets fired for not showing up to work, and he doesn't show up to work because he's fixing her tire. And they come back and they're like, yo, bro, somebody slashed our tire. And I forgot that like a rim would probably rip it up. And he's like, somebody slashed our tire. I swear it was Olivia, bro.
And
She's in love with me. It was Olivia, bro. I swear. And you and I just look at each other. We're like, okay.
But no, it took a second for it to click because I heard the whole story and I was like, oh, that sucks. I
No,
probably
you
didn't-
told me the story.
Did it?
And then I'm like, bro, we did that.
Yeah, because it didn't click with me. I was like, we did let the air out of the tire. And it was the same time.
Me and Adam now have this inside joke that we did this, and we're letting
I don't know
Caden.
if this
And
ever has
Caden's
been-
talking like this, like, "Oh, it was Olivia. That bitch is in love with me. Everybody's in love with me, bro." Like, so he was proud of the fact that a girl did that. So me and Adam just stay quiet. We keep it as an inside joke. That weekend, we go out. This girl Paige. Sorry, guys. This girl Paige runs into this girl Olivia and says, you slashed my tire. Olivia says, no, I didn't. Paige socks her in the face, bro. Socks this bitch in the
she
face.
got beat.
They fight, and it's like a crazy fight.
I think that other people jumped in on it though. I
Yeah,
think
no,
Olivia
it
got,
was
like,
wild.
Yep.
Yeah, people got jumped. It was weird. But anyways, all that shit happens. Caden tells us, and he's still like, yeah, these bitches fought over me, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, bro. And then we waited like 6 months, and we're like, all right, bro. One day it got brought up somehow, and I'm like, all right, we just got to tell you, bro. Nobody's like, I let that air out.
I don't know if it was
and he's
6
like,
months.
you motherfuckers, dude, I lost my job. And like, we found out all this shit way later on. Way later on, bro.
That is probably one of the funniest stories. I don't think it was 6 months though. I think it was like a year or two before we told him. I think that
it was a long time.
We kept it locked up. Like, I mean, that was one of those.
No, I think we waited until they broke up.
And then we told
Whenever
him.
that was, it might have been a couple. It might have been. It was. We were in the new house
Okay.
when that happened. When we told him.
God, dude.
But I wish Kaden was here because that story is probably like a different version.
He would just be staring at the ground right now. He'd be locked
Dude,
up.
it was so hilarious. But we have a lot of these stories that we maybe forgot about.
Just to get reckless on the way back home. That was
Dude, okay, so we had a buddy named Jeremy, and I love Jeremy to death. He's like a ride or die friend too. But Jeremy like gets drunk and he blacks out. And in college, I remember when I leave the club and I'm always like on level 1,000, and we see these ribbons and they're on this new building grand opening. I proceed to just, and it was near my birthday too.
Was it?
It was my birthday weekend.
It was right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So I ripped the ribbons off because I remember I had the Steak and Crab Fest money in my pocket. Yeah. So anyways, I ripped the ribbons off.
It's like 200 yards of ribbons.
Yeah,
not just a little bit. Like
we took home like a wrap of ribbons.
Yeah.
We get home. Jeremy's on the porch and he's passed out.
Face down.
Passed out on our back porch. So we decide, like, let's hog tie him.
He says
of course,
He says we.
We have
no.
40 feet of
He
ribbon.
says we. This is an initial you idea for sure.
It was a great idea. Bro, you fall asleep, you're getting hogtied. What you mean? You fall asleep, I got 40 feet of rope, you're getting hogtied.
This is like an inside-outside porch too. Like I'm saying, it's got a carpet, but it is clearly outside with an overhang.
So we walk outside, it's like 3 a.m. Jeremy's passed out on the ground. We're like, we're going to hog tie this dude. But he's on his belly, so it's backwards. Yeah. So his hands and arms are behind his back. We hog tie him, tie it up at the top. And then I'm like, bro.
It's not enough.
What if we
It wasn't
just
enough.
stack furniture around him so he can't wake up, right? And if he wakes up, he's gonna be all scared. So we start stacking furniture on top of him.
Imagine being hogtied and then a chair, like a four-legged
a chair in between your
all
arms. In between your arms,
And
you
then
got
a couch.
chair and a couch. Okay, so we stacked this thing up like Tetris, baby. This dude's underneath the Tetris board, and then I'm like, that's not enough.
Everything's tied together,
We
too.
need cups of water, barely balancing. Barely balancing.
You know
so
what's
that when he
nasty?
moves, he gets splashed.
Those weren't just normal cups of water too. They had like
they were
100
gross.
games of beer pong mold in them, guaranteed.
Yeah. Victorious games. Anyways, we set this thing up, furniture on furniture, cups on cups, and then we go to bed. And in the middle of the night, I wake up, it's like 3 a.m. No, it's way later.
I was going to say
it's
we
like
started that.
5 a.m. And I just hear, he's screaming, bro. So what happened was he wakes up, knocks all the furniture on himself. So couch just smacks him, chair just smacks him. He spills water all over himself. But while he was sleeping, he starts stretching. And the hog tie that we built had all like transcended to one ankle. Yeah. And so like the whole knot was on his ankle, bro, and this dude's ankle was black. Like the circulation had been cut off for at least 4 or 5 hours, and I'm like, this dude's about to lose a foot.
You know what's funny is while we were in the process of this, obviously who sleeps through that? He woke up about 4 times. And we would just coax him back to bed.
No, man.
Like,
bro,
dude, coax him back to sleep.
I unplugged myself, but no. Yes, I remember.
He's already hogtied. He woke up and like made eye contact with me, and I'm like, "You're fine, you're fine, you're fine."
No,
like,
dude, this dude's laying on my lap, just fucking furniture stacked on him, water, and I'm like, "No, Jeremy, you're fine." And I'm like, "Baby, shh, go to bed." I'm treating him like I'm his mom or something, you know. Yeah. So shout out Jeremy. He's in the military.
Not even okay. When I look
He's
at
a
kids like
soldier
that,
fighting in Guam. All right?
when I look at kids like that, though, like because we had some other ones with him, even.
Yeah.
Remember I dropped a 15-pound weight. That
was bullying.
That wasn't bullying. No.
That was a bullying. I did tell you to do it while recording.
Do you remember he ate like $150 worth of like meal prep meals?
Oh yeah.
So like my thing is like with kids like that, is it bullying or is it shaping?
No. It's not bullying because we were their fathers. Anytime I pay for your food or pay for anything that you do, I'm your dad, and you will respect me as such. And
or if you're gonna act like that, like neither of us ever acted like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not dissing on them.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Exactly.
But also, they played along, which was fun.
They played along.
Yeah, it was fun. So anyways, dude, what do you think about this? Like, do you think that shit's good for the sport? Because I honestly, the celebrity boxing shit is interesting.
My opinion on it, I hated the Pauls to start with. Like, hated them. I just thought they were super annoying. Never liked any.
I used to hate them until now they're just accomplishing everything.
Well, no, but like my thing is if you can call something out like that, kind of what we talked about earlier. If you can call something out like that and then achieve it, you know?
Yeah.
And like everybody in the world doubted
But
them.
like who else is fighting like Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul?
No, I know.
And that's wild.
I know. And but what's cool about
even
it is like
lose to that.
They don't fit the bill of what like in my mind even is engraved as like a tough human. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah, they beat Tyro. I would be scared to fight Tyro.
100%.
And this dude knocked him out, which is wild.
And
which
like,
makes me a fan. I'm like
100%.
I'm scared of Tyro
because they called it and then they went and did it, and it's like. For them, like I'm not saying that I'm like a fan,
I'm
but
a
like
fan,
you could be a fan.
I'm a fan because Logan's on his podcast shit. You know, Jake is on his fight.
I like appreciate what they've done though, 100%. You can't deny it,
bro.
You know?
You could be a Paul brother if your face was shaped a little bit better. You know? Listen, listen, okay. But that's crazy. The reason why I ask is because like I like slamming
fools.
Guys, I like slamming
Don't
people.
say that
I like to put my hands on them. Make them feel it, you know what I'm saying, bro? Make them feel the pressure, bro.
What I'm saying, boxing is way more strategic. That's where I started after wrestling was like boxing, and it's so strategic and like step by step. But like watching you throw hands in that fight, like you've got fucking, you got some mitts on you, I know. But also it's like what I look at is like I feel like. In a 1 minute fight, put me against damn near anybody.
Anybody, bro.
Yeah, but like a fucking.
Also, because I know that I've been doing the mental work. Like, if I'm fighting somebody randomly, which I wouldn't, but if I'm fighting somebody, like, I've been in this dude's ear and in his head, and I own rent in his mind, bro. Like,
I'm walking in above already.
Also, your boy's undefeated because I don't pick fights I'm about to lose, bro. If I ever test you, you better know that I could beat your ass, bro. I'm very calculated and thorough.
Do you ever think that, like, have you looked at the odds of fightings? Like I always look at the odds when a card comes out.
Well,
like,
that's why I should have bet my whole farm on Bo Nickel, bro. That dude's going to have a UFC belt.
But hold on. Like, I'm going to say that my dad was a boxer, actually. He was pretty good. Like, about to go pro. And that he didn't want me and my brothers to get into it at all. Like, would not train us. Like, we wrestled and whatever. Yeah. And he used to have a bag downstairs, and which is kind of shady because if me and my brothers ever got in a fight, like, he would never save me. You know what I'm saying? He would never, like, step in.
You've been getting your ass beat.
Dude, my brothers are, like, 5 and 6 years older than me, though. Like, obviously, I'm getting my ass beat. And it was usually those two against me. Yeah. But if we ever got in, like, an argument or, like, a fight or, like, a scuffle, he wouldn't step in and stop it. He would lock us in the basement, and all there was down there was boxing. And so, like, he would just let us.
Sounds like me and Brian, bro. Me just knocking this dude out.
No, I would get my ass whooped, and I would be on the stairs by the door for like 30 minutes just pleading.
Oh! They drag you down. No.
But outside of that, this guy would never teach us how to box. And I'm like, you're just gonna let me get my ass whipped and not teach me how to throw hands. But it was because, like, I mean, obviously he took some shots. Anybody that boxes takes shots. Yeah. And I think that's something that you got to look at. Like, if you were to ever look at, like, taking fighting seriously, like, that's a real thing. Like, you are already concussed. I fucking, you know,
I'm saying no way out. Here's the thing is if I ever do climb the ranks of a UFC and I'm up there, just better know I'm not taking it serious. I'm saying that if I ever do that shit, it's not that serious, bro. It's honestly like just fun to me. And for some reason, especially when I get punched, I like lock in more. Yeah. Like with wrestling, any match where like I had a scuffle with somebody and like threw them on the table and like drove them off the mat, just shoved them, I'd be like, let's get it. Because I remember Nolan threw a club at me hard, and then I just ran up 12 points in 1 minute against the number 2 guy in the country. Your boy's just like, boom.
Can I tell like a darker story? I don't know if it'll get cut or not. But just relating to that, we didn't get in very many fights for who we were because I feel like many people didn't want to fight. We should have. I feel like people didn't want to fight us.
We did get in a few.
Well, I know, but like this is one specifically, and I just remember you coming up way outnumbered. The only time that we were outnumbered ever in the history of
No.
Yeah, we
were always outnumbered every time.
But nobody ever fought us. Like, really.
But
which one are you talking about? You talking about your birthday?
I'm talking about me trying to swing.
Yeah, good.
And I'm holding this kid's jacket.
All right, so I'm playing beer pong. Party. I only know.
And this is not me nowadays. I'm not. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
changed man,
philosopher,
but
entrepreneur.
But I'm playing pong, and I just feel like almost get picked up by the back of my shirt and drug out of this house. And I still no words were spoken between like there, and by the time I get out, like nothing. And I get turned around, and there is like a group of kids, like
it was me.
Yeah, it was you. And I turn around, I finally like get my feet under me, and he goes,
before you say that. So what's happening is this girl gets her phone stolen at the house. She's like, nobody's leaving without my phone turning up. I'm like, we're leaving. I don't have your phone. And basically our friend Jeremy, the same kid from the other story. Yep. Just as I walk out, socks this kid off the porch. And then they're all pressing me. And I was wearing this baggy ass jacket. And they were like, basically it was like 7 kids against me. And they're like trying to fight me.
It was like 13.
I know. At the time it was 7 or 6. I embellished. So it was probably 4. But anyways, they're pressing me. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't know what's going on. Let us leave. They're not letting us leave. I'm like, oh, you guys want to do this? Give me 1 second. And I walk back inside. Adam's playing beer pong in the middle of the table. And I just remember grabbing your shirt. I'm like, Adam, come here.
You didn't even say any words. Drug me out.
I'm pushing people out of the way. I'm like, Adam. Drag him back. Anyways, we step outside, and it's like 50 football players. Like, and I say 50, I'm embellishing, but it's like 20.
At least 20.
It's at least 20.
And there was 4 of us. There was me, you, Jeremy, and Bo. And that was it. And I just remember seeing fire in your eyes, though. That was like kind of what you...
Bro, because this I don't even know if you got me off.
I know, but I don't know if you had even gotten like...
I think he tried to swing at me or something. I ducked it, and then I grabbed the back of his jacket, and I go to swing on him, and I just feel an arm catch my hand, and then I feel like 5 arms. Then I feel like 10 different arms, bro. And literally, I'm holding this kid's jacket, just trying to hit him one time, and there's like 20 kids. Literally, kids holding the back of other kids.
You know what I saw, though?
Just in the air floating, like, just let me get one shot on this kid, bro. Like,
what I saw was the world's greatest distraction because, like, everybody latched onto you, and I just start working around the corner.
Yes,
me, Bo, Jeremy just start working around the side.
Yes,
just drop
so we literally, I never got a punch in this fight. There's a crowd of like 20 people. My 3 boys are running around just knocking people out. And there's videos of this shit. Like, Adam's just like, whack. Picks up another dude, slam. And I'm just like trying to get one punch in this shit. Somebody pulls out a gun. Wild. Fires it.
Puts it in my face.
But shuts it all down. And then he comes up. He's like, oh, I was on your side. Some random kid. Anyways, we're like, let's get out of here. Cops are coming. We hop in the Camaro. 4 people in the Camaro. We start driving, bro. My car runs out of gas. And I'm,
the Camaro.
Your boy's not DD that night. And anyways, car runs out of gas. We walk 2 miles. Fill up. And then they don't have gas tanks. So we filled up 4 big gulps of gasoline, walk it 2 miles back, pour it in the freaking car, and then we just mob home.
We made it home. But let me ask you this. So in relation, do you think, because most of us, you've been in like a fight, like a stage fight, but is that feeling like the same as being in a ring? Like the fire?
It feels well, it's not a ring, but it feels like...
No, but I'm saying your boxing match, like your boxing fight.
It's not a ring, but it's like kind of like our homecoming duels,
Yeah.
where it was like the light and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that I had the advantage because he was still like stage shocked. He had never like fought in front of that many people, and
Yeah.
I had performed or wrestled or whatever. So I was locked in. I'm like, oh, yo, this dude's looking around. So I just started swinging, bro.
But is that relatable? The feeling of it?
Oh, it's the same.
Okay.
It's
That's
honestly,
all I
it was
needed
fun.
right there.
It was easier. It was way easier.
Okay.
And maybe it's because of the level of the fight or whatever.
Yeah.
But like wrestling, there's just a lot going on. And then even with MMA, like, because there's so many options, not that I think it's easier, but it's like there's no point system.
Yep.
So it's all subjective. And I don't know. I think it'd be fun to play in that like scenario a little bit.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I don't know. I am definitely taking a fight, hindsight,
Yeah.
after the whole conversation.
Not in Colorado. Not in.
Do you give me the place, time, person?
We might have to stop this podcast right now. I got gloves, bro. We got wrestling. I'm just
He's already caught the atomic elbow.
no, bro. But yeah, thanks for flying out. It's my birthday, so I'm pumped that you're here, bro. I can't have a birthday without you.
Absolutely.
Dude, the way that life has been developing for both of us, even with Hummingbird, you know, it's cool to be able to bring you in too. And people say don't work with friends, but like this has worked out, you know.
It's been huge.
Bro, and honestly, even going back to what you had said earlier, right? Like, there's never a selfish bone in your body, bro. It's cool to like be able to live life through each other. And you give me a good perspective on life, bro, and you help me figure it out. And when I know I have people like you, Brian, my wife, my brother, you know, Matt, in my corner, it's just like we can't fail. You know, we can't fail. And that's why we might win a Rocket League championship tonight, boys. Anyways,
It's gotta happen eventually.
we've been on for a while, bro. Let's cut it off because I'm trying to go play some pool downtown.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to the people?
Appreciate you having me.
Yes! My best friend, folks. He's on the podcast. It's my birthday this weekend, so turn up.
Happy birthday, Bruno.
In the name of
Happy
Jesus,
birthday, Bruno.
folks. This weekend, Jesus says turn up. You know, he's speaking through me right now. Anyways,
27.
yes, bro, 27 years young. Happy birthday to me. Thanks, Adam, for coming through. Yeah, we'll end it off. Thanks for coming, bro.
Appreciate you.
It's a blast.
Appreciate you.
All right, we'll see y'all on the next one.
See you guys.